In this video, we're going to take one step forward and have a look at electron flow. Now don't worry if you don't know what I'm talking about. Electron flow is essentially how energy moves through a circuit, and it's about understanding that from a visual perspective. So every circuit is an excellent tool to enable me to show you exactly how it works. So in my circuit here that I've already set up, I've got a battery and I've got an LED, and I've done this to keep it very simple. I've set the power supply at 3 volts and the LED requires 3 volts. So think of this as a torch, just a simple torch with 2 AA batteries and 1 LED. It won't be a very bright torch, but that's not the point. So what is electron flow? Now if you've ever looked at a circuit, a simple circuit like this, you might have had the thought, how does energy move through? How does energy come out of this battery and move around the circuit, light the LED, and come back again? Because within a circuit, electrons have to flow from the battery through the LED, or whatever it is that's connected, and then it actually flows back to the battery again. My thought was, I was very confused. My thought was, if the energy is coming from the battery and then going towards this LED, it's lighting that LED, so why does the energy need to go back into the battery again? And this is something I struggle to understand. You know, why, if it's lighting the LED, why does it need to go back into the battery? If the energy is going back into the battery, why does the battery eventually run out? With this battery, we have a negative and positive terminal. Now, an electron is a negatively charged particle. So think of a battery with the negative side being full of negatively charged particles. The other side has a positive charge. A positive and negative charge always wants to create an equilibrium. So a full battery will have all of its negatively charged electrons on one side, on the negative side, and on the other side of the battery will be all the positive charge. So what happens is, it's a chemical process. The negative side is separated from the positive side, so it cannot flow within the battery itself. So when you connect the battery into a circuit, those electrons then are able to flow out of the negative side and go over to the positive side. It always wants to balance out. They want to be zero charge. They want to be at zero. So these electrons naturally want to flow from the negative side, and it will even go through anything you put between it as long as it's conductive, and they will flow to the positive side. Now if you think of an empty battery, what's happened there is those electrons have come from the negative side and gone to the positive side. And when a battery is completely dead, i.e. you cannot get more energy from it, that means then that the number of electrons on this side is the same as the number of electrons on this side. Therefore there is no longer a positive and negative, because they're now at equal charge on both sides. So there's no reason for those electrons to move anymore. And if I click play, you can see this happen. All of the electrons come from the negative side, and they will run through anything you put in the way as long as it's conductive. So we've used an LED. These electrons flow through the LED, making it light. It uses energy, but then the electrons flow back into the positive side of the battery. Once all those electrons have moved from the negative side to the positive side, our battery is dead. All the electrons have created an equilibrium within the battery, and therefore there will no longer be any charge. The battery will be dead.